Good morning, Safe Haven, May the 10th, 6:20 in the morning. Headed to work again, working every day. I work every day, Monday through Sunday, about 80 hours a week. I don't really have much time for anything. I've been making some videos about some of my experiences with this spirituality and spiritual journey that I've been on. I really haven't got into a whole lot of details. Things that I've mentioned are just a tip of the iceberg. I don't want to. The main thing on this video is I didn't really want to come across as I'm bragging of the things that I'm capable of doing or I have done. I'm more or less am making these videos and talking about what I'm capable of doing and what I've been able to do, to let others know that they too are capable of doing the same things. Like I said, I don't want to brag. This is not what it's about. I'm not wanting to brag, and I'm sorry and I apologize if it sounds like that I've come across as bragging. But we are a spirit and we are a soul, and with that comes a lot of power. And if we have God inside of us, then we can be godlike. We can possess the same powers that God has, especially if God is inside of us. If God is inside of us, He is part of us, and we are a part of Him. I believe some may be more capable than others. The DNA of human, the flesh of human, is a very hard thing to get rid of. The thoughts that we have in our heads, is very hard to get rid of. I get it, I understand it. Our minds are a very powerful thing. And that's mainly what spirituality is taking control of your mind, instead of our minds taking control of us. It's a difficult thing, and most of the time we don't even realize that we are in our minds, or our minds are in us, because it's become a human a nature. It's been a pattern for as long as we can remember. It's been programmed, and our minds are like a computer that's gathering information in, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how we become smart and we become intelligent. But there's a time to shut that off, and I'm not talking about being stupid and being dumb. That's not what I'm talking about. But we have to learn how to shut it off when we need to shut it off, to dive into our subconscious mind where all those magical things happen. The only problem is, and I'm only saying this because when we're born in our subconscious mind, and as we slowly get older, we start getting programmed by our parents, by school, by religion, by man, by the media, by the government. And it's a slow process, but it happens, and we have been used to that for so long. It's very hard to get rid of that. It's really hard to shut it down, to shut it off, because that's what we've been used to. But that's not what we are. That's not who we are from originally. I mean, we are born in our subconscious mind. That's where we're supposed to be, not the other way, not the conscious mind. So what's happened in my case is I've been diving into my subconscious mind now for a period of time, and I've retrained my mind. I have trained my mind now. I've tamed it, and with the practice and what's the word? With the practice and whatever, in training, I've learned to control it. And I'm sorry if I'm all over the place here, but you too can do that. You can train that mind just like it was trained. It trained you from birth through life. It's okay to have those thoughts. It's not that it's a problem. The problem is when you allow it to affect you, to convince you of things that don't exist, to convince you to start worrying about things and stressing about things that you have no business worrying and stressing about. When you start going into the subconscious mind, and the more you start doing it, the easier it will be to enter into your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is a very powerful thing, controlled by God, the ultimate source. And I had mentioned that that's where magic happens. And I'm not talking about magic like David Copperfield or David Blaine or whoever. I'm not talking about that kind of magic. I'm talking about the real magic. When you start getting into your subconscious mind, and you start, and I mean really getting into your subconscious mind. I'm not talking about just quieting, getting into a quiet spot. I'm talking about actually really diving into your subconscious mind. You will know when you start to dive into your subconscious mind, because you will experience things and see things and feel things. You will be like an open, I always said it was like a radio station. Our subconscious mind is like a radio station. I don't know if you know the old radios where you flip through the knobs and you'll pick up a station, but in between those two stations there's static. And I remember when I first started this journey, when I would start to connect to people, that it was almost like I was that static in between. I would pick them up and I could connect to them, but then it was like I was trying to flip through another channel, trying to tune back into that station. That's what we are. We are like a radio station. We are sending out a signal and a frequency. And when you can get into your subconscious mind, you start to pick up those frequencies, and not just from people, from everything that's got energy, anything, trees, animals, the planet, the universe, everything that puts off a signal, an electrical signal, you will be able to tune into that. And it could almost be chaotic, because you're starting to pick up on all kinds of things. And this is when the training of the mind becomes. Now you're starting to train, let's say you're starting to train the subconscious mind to be able to focus in on that one certain channel. It always reminded me, and I know I'm not big into TV, and I don't even own a TV. Well, I do, but I don't have any cable or internet or whatever. I don't watch many movies, but there is one movie that I am pretty familiar with, and some may be, some may not be, but there's a movie called X-Men, and there's a character in there, and I'm not sure of his name, but he's a bald-headed guy. He's in a wheelchair, and he enters into a room, and he puts on this helmet, and in this room, It's a projection, I guess. A thing, something appears in front of me, and I just saw a transparent object just across the road in front of me. But anyway, and what he's doing is when he puts this helmet on, he's starting to focus on other mutants. Let's say he's trying to locate a mutant that's escaped or is on the loose or whatever, and he puts his helmet on, and when he does, he starts to connect to all the mutants in the world till he focuses in on that one mutant. And this is what is like with your subconscious mind. You start to enter into a room. This morning when I meditated, I saw a door. I saw a door in front of me. And it's really strange because when I meditate, it's pitch black, and I can't see anything. And my eyes are open, and I see this door, and it's really strange because I can see the door because around this door is light, and in the middle of it is dark. But it's a triangle, just like a door, almost like I'm entering into another dimension. I guess maybe heaven or the atmosphere or the universe. I don't know. But when I do see this, one of the first things I always see, it's really strange, is a black light. And it's really weird because I'm in a black room and it's pitch black, but I see this black light that's even blacker than the black, if that makes sense. But around this black light is light. And I'm not talking about like a light bulb, or it's really hard to explain, but I start to see this black light that's lit up around shining itself. And then I'll see this door maybe sometimes, and then I'll see what looks like to be the cosmos or the stars, like I'm traveling through space. Purple lights, I see a lot of purple lights. And once you can start connecting to your subconscious mind, you start connecting to other things, people. Let's say there's an individual that you are wanting to focus on and to pray for, to help. If you can focus on this person, and I know because I speak with experience, and I've done this several times, when you start to connect to this person, you start to gather their information. Like the things that's been programmed into them. You may start to pick up an old house that they lived in, maybe a pet. I've done this before. I've found pets, seen pets with this individual. I've seen certain incidents that's happened in a person's life that stood out to them. For instance, I called what looked like a zoo. Somebody had a zoo, and a gorilla was beaten on its chest. And it turns out that this gorilla was in a enclosed cage, and it hit the glass in front of this person. And I saw that. You'll start to pick up people's thoughts, their smells, if you start to connect to a certain person. But what happens is, I tell these people that I'm going to pray for them, but I have to let them know, and I have to get their permission, because a lot of people don't want you in their head. They don't want you knowing certain things. So before you do this, make sure you let them know what could happen. And you may not know that you can't do it, but you don't know until you try. So you let them know. And like I do, I let them know. If I pray for you and I want to pray for you, I can't just pray for you. As I'm focusing on you to pray for you, I start to see these images. And I know that's bad because I want to pray for them. But in order for me to pray for them, I have to find the damage. And that's what I'm doing. I'm pretty much finding damage. I'm finding what's holding them back, what's keeping them from succeeding in life, whatever memory
that there is in their head that they've been trying to let go, almost like I'm seeing that, and I want to let them know that this is what I'm seeing and you need to let it go. So this is what happens when you start to connect to people. You'll see faces and images, maybe a dead relative, and I don't believe in connecting to the dead. The dead are made to rest, and I know that we have these people called psychic mediums that connect to the dead. I can't agree to that. That's just me. That's just my personal opinion. Please forgive me if that's something you do. But the dead were made to rest, and we're not really supposed to go in there and start disturbing their peace. I've had the dead try to communicate with me through meditation and connecting to my subconscious mind, and most of the time when I see them in my subconscious mind, or them to connect to me, they're doing something. Not necessarily that they're speaking to me, but they are speaking to me, but not in the verbal sense. They may be standing in the kitchen. I've seen them standing in the kitchen cooking, or driving a car, or whatever. And this memory that I see of this person, I will relate to the other person that I'm connected to and let them see what I see. I had actually connected to a dead girl. She had been murdered, and it was an unsolved murder. And I started to connect to this girl, and I wasn't doing it more or less to communicate with her. I was just trying to gather some information about this murder. And I did. I started to gather some information. I had found out, without being told, I didn't know anything about this girl that got murdered, but I started to find out how she got murdered, all the people that were involved in this murder. She was raped. She was strangled with her purse strap. I saw hair involved, almost like somebody took some of her hair as a souvenir. I saw a field, almost like she was laying in the field looking up. All this stuff. I saw a horse. It was funny because, not funny, but it was kind of crazy. I saw a horse farm at a gate, and a man standing behind this gate, and it turns out that where she was murdered was right close to a horse farm. And I saw all this information. I saw all the people who were involved in this murder, and I relate the messages that I saw, and I was 100% correct on everything that I saw. So I didn't really necessarily communicate with her. It wasn't like she was speaking to me, but she was speaking to me. So we really have to be careful when we're communicating with the dead, because you really don't know who you're communicating with when it comes to that aspect, because that's the dead are laid to rest. So you will gather this information once you start connecting to your subconscious mind and you start to connect to people. You will get all kinds of information. I had mentioned before about woods and seeing woods as I meditate, and some of these woods may be related to somebody, if they're hiking through some woods or they've been lost. I've actually found lost dogs or lost animals for people. It's really strange when things start to happen. So you can train your subconscious mind. You can train your conscious mind. I will say this, that when you start to connect to your subconscious mind, when you really start to connect to your subconscious mind, you will see things, you will feel things, and you will hear things. Always stay positive. Never be scared, and never be frightened. I've been seeing things since I was a kid. As long as I can remember, I've been seeing things. And things that the normal person can't see. And I've been used to that. I've been used to seeing that stuff. So stuff like that doesn't scare me. It doesn't scare me when I see an alien face pop up, or I see a demon pop up. Stuff like that doesn't scare me. So it's easier for me, I believe, to be able to connect to my subconscious mind and start to experience these things. Please be careful. Always keep a positive mind. Always keep God right there with you when you do it. And you can succeed. You can help others. Get rid of that ego. Get rid of that conscious mind. Quiet down that conscious mind. When you do, amazing things will start to happen. I hope the best for you. I hope that you succeed in whatever it is you're doing. I hope you have a great day, a good life, a good morning, a good evening. I love each and every one of you. And at any time you need to contact me, you can. I am not hard to find. Love and peace.